if you are a landlord, especially if you're a first-time landlord, getting your home rented out is a great thing. That's why you got into investment real estate, to get that passive income every month. Whether it is someone who is paying the rent themselves or Section 8 tenant with the guaranteed income, okay? Getting your home rented is a success, okay? But there are three clauses that you might not have thought of that is so important that you put into your lease, because these three clauses, they will save you time, they will save you money, and they will potentially save you heartache and headache on the back end of the lease. Okay, so these are going to be three clauses that you need to make sure you put in every single lease. First clause is going to be the repair clause. Now, what is the repair clause? Well, the repair clause is basically telling the tenant that they are responsible for repairs up into a certain amount. So here's a perfect example. You have a repair clause in your lease that says the tenant is responsible for repairs up to $250. Great. A couple of months go by and the tenant calls you and says, I have a clogged toilet. Well, because of that repair clause, that repair goes back on the tenant, and they can call a plumber and they can get that clog fixed. And maybe that costs them $125. Now, that falls within the amount that they are responsible for based on that repair clause. So you don't have to find a plumber. You don't have to pay them a reimburse or anything like that. That is taken care of because of that repair clause for whatever the amount. But in this example, we'll say $250. Because of that repair clause of $250, you don't have to worry about these small minor repairs and details, including, say, if they got locked out of the house and they need to call a locksmith, that falls under them. Okay, the small details, those small repairs that might interrupt your vacation or a night's sleep or a nap in the afternoon, okay? So make sure that you put a repair clause for a reasonable amount that you want your tenants to be responsible for. The second clause is going to be insurance requirements. Now, insurance requirements, there's so many different types of insurance. You as the landlord, you're already going to have insurance on the home. If this was your primary home before, you were probably going to switch it from your normal homeowner's insurance to a landlord policy. But going the extra step and requiring your tenants to get general liability insurance, okay? And that's going to be another layer of protection for you. Enlisting you or your business as a interested party, okay? Another requirement for insurance might be them having their own renter's insurance. Now, renter's insurance, we all know, that is going to cover their personal items. Now, you as a landlord, okay, whether their personal items are covered or not, that's really no sweat off your back. But by you requiring that and educating the tenant on what that means could actually really be beneficial for them, because they will see that you actually do have their interests in mind. So if you let your tenants know that it's required for them to carry their own renter's insurance, then they're going to know that, okay, yes, let me carry this. This is important to me. This is also my home, and this is where I'm living. Let me cover my items. So making sure that you do have insurance requirements, that they are spelled out, that the limits of liabilities are explicitly known, and who needs to be listed on the policy and what the policy needs to say, and what interested parties need to be on that policy. The third thing is going to be any move out or eviction clauses. Now, what that's going to entail is if your tenant is planning on ending the lease, whether ending it early or at the end of the lease, what requirements they need to take and what they need to do to end that lease. If it's a 30-day or a 60-day notice, what that looks like when they do move out, what condition do you want the home to be in, what do you want them to do with the utilities, okay? Also, when they can expect their security deposit, and then the requirements and the expectations if you were to go into an eviction, okay? These are the list of things that constitutes us going into eviction. If you've missed your rent by this much, or by this many days, or whatever the case may be, but laying out what the expectations are for either your client moving out of the home or being evicted from your home. Okay, that is going to make things a lot easier for everybody. Because if you do have to go to court, you can let the judge know, hey, this is laid out, this is what we agreed on. And then also when it's time for your tenant to move out, say that they just don't want to renew the lease, then also your tenant can understand what's expected of them, what fees they might need to pay, and maybe if and when they would expect their security deposit to be returned. Okay. So if you are renting out your home, whether this is your first time or your 10th time, make sure you have these three clauses in every one of your leases because it's going to save you a lot of time, energy, heartache, and probably money.